Hello everyone, welcome to Think Global Education Services SAT Math class. Guys, the topic for today is functions and polynomials. Functions and polynomials. So this is the first video in the series of functions and polynomials. We'll start with very basic in this first video. So guys, in your SAT, there are two types of equations that you should be aware of. The first is linear equation, which we have already covered in the previous videos, and one is quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. Now, as you all know, the linear equation is an equation where the degree of the polynomial is 1, which I can say is y is equal to mx plus c. So that's what we learned in coordinate geometry. So that's a linear equation, and whenever we try to draw a linear equation on the graph, we always get a straight line. But today we'll be talking about quadratic equation where the degree of the polynomial is 1, which is given to me by y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. That's the general form of a quadratic equation where the degree of the polynomial is 2. And whenever you try to draw this quadratic equation on the graph, you always get a parabola. So we'll talk about the parabola in the later videos, but today in this video we will understand that how do we solve any particular quadratic equation. Okay, so let's talk about solving a quadratic equation. Now the very basic idea of a quadratic equation, as I told you, the general equation is ax square plus bx plus c. The first very basic method of solving a quadratic equation is factorization method, or we also call it middle term splitting. So let's understand. So if I say a quadratic equation is, let's say y is equal to x square plus 5x plus 6. So just a hypothetical example, let's say this is a quadratic equation. If I want to solve the quadratic equation, what I'll do, I'll simply put y is equal to 0. So I'll put y is equal to 0 to solve a quadratic equation, and the equation will become x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now, if I want to do the middle term splitting and if I want to solve it, what I need to take care of is I have to split this middle term in such a way that the product of the term is 6, which is 1 into 6. The product of the sum is 6 and the sum has to be 5. So I have to split this middle term in such a way that the product becomes 6 and the sum is 5. And when I do that, I realize that x square plus 3x plus 2x. So if I do the product, 3 into 2 is 6 and 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's how we do the middle term splitting. So here now we'll take x common from the first two terms, will be x plus 3. And guys, do you acknowledge if I take 2 common from this last two terms, I'll again get x plus 3. Now this x plus 3 will be common, so I'll get x plus 3 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now if the product of two terms is equal to 0, so either x plus 3 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So hence I'll get x is equal to negative 3 or I will get x is equal to negative 2. So guys, this is how I solve a quadratic equation. Now what are these negative 3 and negative 2 called? You need to be aware of this. These are called the solutions, or you can call these are the roots of the equation. And how do you figure out roots? If you put y is equal to 0 and you solve the equation, you'll get the roots of the equation. Now why they are called the roots? These equations, these values are called the roots because whenever you try to put these roots back into the equation, they always satisfy. So that's how you solve for the roots, or you can also call the solutions, or you can say roots of the equation. How do you solve for roots? By a very easy method called middle term splitting, or you can call it factorization method. You do the middle term splitting, solve it, you get the roots of the equation. So guys, let's try to take one example and try to understand the middle term splitting in a better way. So this is the question which says 2x square minus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. It's already a quadratic equation. Which of the following equation has a root in common with the above equation? Which of the following equation has a root in common with the above equation? So let's try to solve this equation and figure out the roots of this equation, which is 2x square minus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. So I can just take common, I can just divide the entire equation with 2 to simplify it further, and I can say x square minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now I want the product to be 4 and I want the sum to be negative 3, and I want the product to be negative 4. So the product has to be negative 4 and the sum has to be negative 3. So I can do the middle term splitting like minus 4x plus 1x. So as you can see, the product will be negative 4 and the sum will be negative 3. So I'll take x common from the first two terms, x minus 4. Similarly, I'll take plus 1 common from the last two terms and I'll again get x minus 4. So now x minus 4 will be common. So x minus 4 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. So from here, I'll get x minus 4 is equal to 0 or x plus 1 is equal to 0. That will give me two roots of this equation. That will x will be 4 or x will be negative 1. So I got the roots of this equation, which is 4 and negative 1. Now they are asking me to check that which of the following equation has one root in common. So any one root should be common. Now one way is that you factorize all four equations and check that which one will have at least one root in common with the above equation. But that will be a very lengthy method. So you need to understand, I already told you, what do you mean by roots? Roots means whenever you put them back into the equation, they will always satisfy if they are the roots of the equation. So you can just try to put these values in these options and check that which option will satisfy. Now you can check whichever you want. You can go for x is equal to 4 or you can go for x is equal to minus 1. Now guys, which one is more easy? Negative 1 is definitely more convenient for me to put. So what I'll do, I'll try to put negative 1 in the options and check. If I put in option number A, that's negative 1 square plus 4, is it equal to 0? No. So that does not satisfy, so it can't be my answer. I'll try to put in option number B, that's negative 1 square plus 3 into negative 1 plus 4. Does it give me 0? No, so that's gone. If I put in option number C, that's negative 1 square plus twice into negative 1 minus 8. Does it give me 0? No. So of course my answer has to be D. And if I quickly go ahead and check, if I put negative 1 minus 5, does it equal to 0? Yes, because 5 minus 5 is 0. So it very well satisfy, and this will be my answer. So guys, you can just put the values back in the equation and check. If it satisfies, that will be the root of the equation. If it does not satisfy, that won't be the root of the equation. And try to go for the convenient value first. So I hope this middle term splitting is sorted. So that's one way to solve a quadratic equation. Now let's try to figure out another way by which we can actually solve a quadratic equation. Suppose guys, if I say I give you an equation like this, x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. I want to solve this. Now if I want to do the middle term splitting, the product has to be plus 1 and the sum also have to be plus 1, which is actually not possible. So you can't do the middle term splitting. So whenever you can't use the factorization, there's a direct formula by which you can figure out the roots. Now I'll write the general equation on the top, which is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now if I want to directly figure out the roots, I can use the formula also, which is minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. That's a direct formula where a, b, c represents the coefficient of x square, x and a constant respectively. Now if you notice, the value of A here is 1, the value of B is also 1, and the value of C is also 1. So if I try to figure out the roots of this equation, minus B, that is minus 1, plus minus under root B square is 1 square, that's 1, minus 4 into A into C over 2A. A is 1. So if I figure out the root, so if I take plus, I'll get another root. If I take negative, I'll get the another root. Right? So this is negative 3 over 2. So basically, there are no real roots here because I get a negative inside the root. So no real roots. So if you are not able to figure out through middle term splitting, you have to figure out through the formula. Since there is a negative value inside the root, so there is no solution for this equation. So I can say no real roots, or I can say no solution. We'll talk about these kind of equations in later on. But I believe you understand the formula. So sometimes you can use the formula, sometimes you can use the middle term splitting, whichever is more convenient for you. Now, there are a couple of more formulas which you should be aware of. If I want the sum of the roots, now one way is you solve the equation, you figure out the roots, and then you add them up. That will give you the sum of the roots, of course. But I really don't have to do this much of the effort to figure out the sum of the roots. I can directly say the sum of the roots is minus B by A. And if I want the product of the roots, it will be C by A. So that's a direct formula to figure out the roots. If I take again an equation, if I say x square, let's take the same example. If I say the x square plus 5x plus 6. So if I want the sum of the roots here, I'll do minus 5 over 1. That will be the sum of the roots. And if I want the product of the roots, I'll directly do 6 over 1. That's 6. So the sum is negative 5 and the product is 6. So I really don't have to solve the equation to figure out the sum and the product of the roots. I can directly figure it by minus B by A and C by A. So these are the three formulas which you should be aware of while solving a quadratic equation. So let's see how a question comes if I'm not able to do it with the factorization method. So if you notice, what are the roots of the equation? So they simply want me to solve this equation, and when I look at the options, you realize the options are into root form or plus minus form. So it's better, rather than doing the middle term splitting, let me directly apply the formula here and figure out the roots of the equation in the form which is already given to me in the options. Now here, first to simplify it, I can divide the entire equation with 4. It will be x square minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now if I go for the roots, that is x is equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So minus b will be plus 6 plus minus under root b square is 36 minus 4 into a, which is 1, and into c, which is 3, over twice into a, which is 1. So I'll get 6 plus minus, this is 36 minus 4 into 3, 12, that's 24 over 2. So I can disintegrate this 2, so it will be 3 plus minus, I'll solve this root. So root 24 can be written as 8 into 3, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So this 2 will be common, it's divided by 2 again. So this 2 will be common, it will, I make a pair, so it will come outside the root. So eventually it will be 3 plus minus 2 root 6 over 2. So eventually it will be 3 plus minus root 6. So see, the options automatically came in this form, which is option number A. So sometimes I have to use the formula, and sometimes I can do the middle term splitting and solve the particular equation. So I hope both the method is clear to you to solve a particular quadratic equation. Now let's understand one example where we can actually use the sum and the product kind of a formula that we just learned. So here in this question, if you see, they say 2x square minus bx plus 36 is equal to 7x has one root equal to 3. So one root is already provided to me 3. They are asking me what's the value of other root. Now one lengthy way is, so if I first of all make an equation 2x square minus bx, I'll take everything on one side. So minus 7x plus 36 is equal to 0. And if I take minus b common, this will be x plus, so if I take here, if I take minus x common, so it will be b plus 7 plus 36 is equal to 0. Or I can just correct the orientation, I can write it minus b plus 7x plus 36 is equal to 0. So now this equation is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c, right? Now sometimes what student does, because one root is equal to 3, and if I put that value of the root back into the equation, it will satisfy. So sometimes what they do, they try to put 3 in place of x, figure out the value of this b, get the quadratic equation, and then again solve it for the root. But that is the most lengthiest way you can think of. Try to apply the formula we just learned, because I already know that the product of the roots is directly given to me by c by a, and you notice c is already given to me and a is already given to me. So if you notice the fact, to figure out the product of the roots, I don't need the coefficient of x. So if I do not have the value of the coefficient of x, still I can figure out the product of the roots. So c is 36, a is 2. So the product of the roots comes out to be 18. And product of the roots, I can, if I say the two roots are r1 and r2, I can say r1 times r2 is 18. Root 1 is already given to me 3. I need the other root of this equation. So without solving for b, I got the other root as 6. So that becomes more easier. So we know the formulas, but students generally don't apply the formulas. So remember guys, apply these formulas wherever you can, which is the product of the roots. Sometimes I might use the formula for sum of the roots if b and a is provided to me. If the constant is missing, still I can figure out the sum of the roots. So try to apply these formulas wherever possible. So I hope guys this is clear how do we solve a quadratic equation by doing the middle term splitting, then by using the formula and the couple of formulas which are sum of the roots and the product of the roots. Now one more question that I want to discuss here, where is a function given to me and they want me to figure out whether this function is defined or not. So I have two quadratic equations here. So let me simplify these two quadratic equations, which will make my job a little bit easy. So x square plus 5x minus 6. So I'll just do the factorization. I want the product to be negative 6 and the sum to be plus 5. So x square plus 6x minus 1x. So be careful, the product has to be negative 6 and the sum has to be plus 5. So 6 minus 1, the product is negative 6, and 6 minus 1, the sum is plus 5. Minus 6, I'll take x common, x plus 6. Then I'll take minus 1 common here. I'll again get x plus 6. Now x plus 6 is common. So I'll factorize and I'll get x plus 6 and x minus 1. Similarly, I'll factorize the other equation also, x square minus 3x minus 28. So if I do the factorization here, I want the product to be negative 28 and I want their difference to be 3. So 7 times 4 is 28. X square minus 7x plus 4x. So minus 7 plus 4 will give me negative 28 and their addition will give me negative 3. Minus 28, I'll take x common from here, I'll get x minus 7 and and I'll take plus 4 common from the last two terms. I'll again get x minus 7. Then x minus 7 will be common and I'll get x plus 4. So I factorize. Now it becomes more easier for me to understand. Now if I write down the function 1 over, instead of the quadratic equation, I can write down x plus 6 times x minus 1, and for the other quadratic equation I can write down x minus 7 times x plus 4. Now they simply want the function to be defined. Now remember guys, if I get the denominator as 0, the function will become not defined. The denominator can't be 0. If the denominator is 0, the function is not defined. So if I want the function to be defined, that means I don't want the denominator to be 0. I look at the options and check that which option will not give me the denominator as 0. So if I put x as 7, do you realize 7 minus 7 will become 0 and the entire product will become 0 and the denominator will become 0. So here the function will be undefined. If I put x as 6, 6 plus 6, yes, I can see that it won't be 0. But let me check the other option. If you see option number C, x is equal to 1. If I put 1, 1 minus 1, this will become 0 and the entire product will become 0, and hence here also the function will be undefined. And similarly, if I put negative 4, negative 4 plus 4 will again become 0. The entire product will become 0 and hence this will also be undefined. So as I can clearly see, if I put x as 6, the denominator won't be 0 and for this the function will be defined. So that's how you solve the quadratic equation guys, and I'll be making more videos to cover other aspects of functions and polynomials. This was a very basic video which was covering how do we solve a particular quadratic equation. So that's it from this video guys. See you soon.